I, a 29-year-old male, and Erica, a 27-year-old female, had been in a relationship for 2 years and got engaged 4 months ago. After our engagement, Erica moved into my house, and we split the expenses in a way that I covered the mortgage while she took care of utilities, groceries, and household items. We planned to add her to the house's ownership after our marriage to ensure she had equity in it. Erica's best friend, Leah, who is also 27, has been her friend since high school. I haven't particularly liked Leah, but I've always been polite because I know she'll be a part of our lives. However, my issue with Leah is that she often acts like my home is hers. For instance, she frequently brings her rather troublesome boyfriend over. Additionally, she tends to speak to me disrespectfully in my own house, as if she and Erica co-own it. One day, I discovered that some of my tools were missing from my garage, and upon checking my security camera, I found that Leah and her boyfriend had taken them when they were with Erica. When I asked Erica about it, she claimed they were just borrowing the tools and would return them. It took multiple reminders to finally get them back weeks later. I also have a valuable wine and liquor collection. One Friday evening when I was working late, I heard clinking bottles, and I found Leah behind my bar. She claimed Erica said it was okay to borrow a bottle for her party and that she pay for it. I told her it was not okay and asked her to leave. When I discussed this with Erica, she couldn't recall authorizing Leah to take a bottle. At this point, I expressed my discomfort with Leah being in my house. Erica understood, but she didn't take my concern seriously. The last straw was when I couldn't find my golf clubs, which are a significant investment for me. I reviewed the security camera footage and discovered that Leah had used my garage code to take them. I lost my temper, called Erica, and insisted she get my clubs back immediately. Erica explained that Leah had asked for the garage code to retrieve some clothes from her closet, and Leah had taken my clubs along with her things. Leah claimed her boyfriend needed them for work. I eventually got my clubs back after almost 4 days, and they were dirty. I sat Erica down and told her that if I ever saw Leah in my house again, I'd call the police without discussion. Erica got upset, stating that Leah was her best friend, and it wasn't fair to ban her from our home. I pointed out that this was a recurring issue, and since Erica's possessions weren't affected, she didn't seem to care. I suggested Erica could visit Leah at her apartment, but she said she couldn't because Leah didn't like her apartment, and her boyfriend was always there, making Erica uncomfortable. Now I'm receiving the silent treatment and being called unreasonable, but I don't believe I'm in the wrong. Before diving into the update, I want to express gratitude for the insightful comments received earlier. Many of you advised against putting my fiancé on the deed to my home and even questioned the viability of our marriage. It became clear that the issue wasn't just about Leah. It was a deeper problem with my fiancée, Erica. I confronted Erica about the situation when I found Leah's car parked in our driveway. I insisted that Leah leave, and despite her protests, I made it clear that I would involve the police if necessary. Erica, in her attempt to defend Leah, couldn't sway my decision. I sat her down and showed her this post. After reading through the comments for 20 minutes, Erica's response indicated she didn't grasp the gravity of our situation. That was my breaking point. I asked Erica to hold out her hand, remove the engagement ring, and ended our relationship. She pleaded, apologizing and promising to sever ties with Leah, but I couldn't ignore the fundamental lack of trust I felt toward her. Erica retreated to our room while I began packing her belongings in the kitchen. I reached out to her parents, informing them of the situation. To my surprise, they shared that Leah had long been banned from their home since high school due to similar issues. They expressed their anger and disappointment and agreed to come this weekend to collect Erica and her belongings. The weight lifted off my shoulders is immense, and I can't help but feel a sense of relief and resolution. Realizing the depth of my situation became possible because of this post. I sincerely thank each and every one of you. With newfound freedom, I'm eager to indulge in my hobbies, like playing golf with my reclaimed clubs. The prospect of embracing single life is both exciting and liberating. Your support has meant the world to me, and I can't express my gratitude enough. As for my next story, I'm seeking your perspective on a situation with my girlfriend. Early in our relationship, she decided to test my consideration by canceling a date, one where we were planning to take our relationship to the next level. It was a significant drive for me, and she waited until I was halfway there before letting me know. Despite her claims of feeling unwell, her timing seemed to deliberate, testing my reaction. I'd offered my understanding and even suggested visiting her to help, but she declined. She later explained that this test was pivotal for our relationship, emphasizing my consideration. However, I can't shake my frustration. I feel she lacked consideration for my time and effort, seemingly inconveniencing me intentionally. When I confronted her about this, she half-heartedly apologized, downplayed the situation, and dismissed my feelings. We ended up arguing, leaving me feeling like an insensitive jerk for getting upset over what seems like a small issue. The fact that she lacks remorse and even makes me feel guilty for being rightfully upset is troubling. It feels like a manipulative and gaslighting tactic, raising several red flags about her behavior. Your insights are invaluable, and I'm struggling to navigate this situation. I've come to realize that you're absolutely right. I seem to be dating another version of my ex. It's disheartening when the person who should be administering the relationship test fails so miserably at it themselves. What's even worse is their inability to consider the possibility that the other person might be dissatisfied with their behavior. She should have kept her little test to herself. Your conduct on that day was appropriate and considerate. Kudos to you for handling it well. Now, moving forward, you might find yourself questioning every situation, wondering if it's a test. And frankly, it might be. It's crucial to have a discussion about this. It's not a minor issue to be upset about. Your concerns are valid, and addressing them is essential. As for the next story, titled, "Am I the A-hole for buying a door for my son behind my husband's back?" I must say your husband's behavior is incredibly controlling and frankly scary. It's deeply concerning that he believes your son shouldn't have a door to his room until he's 18, essentially denying him any privacy. I understand your perspective. Teens deserve some freedom and privacy within reason. It's not just about personal space, it's also a matter of safety. Without a proper door, your son is at risk in case of emergencies like a fire. If a fire were to break out, he would have no barrier to prevent smoke and flames from entering his room, putting his safety in jeopardy. Your decision to provide him with a door is not only about granting him privacy, but also ensuring his safety. While your husband may see it as a challenge to his authority, your son's well-being should take precedence. It's unfortunate that your husband reacted this way, but your intentions were rooted in your son's safety and comfort. Navigating this situation may require a difficult conversation, but your concern for your son's safety and privacy is completely valid. Your husband's behavior is indeed troubling, and it puts both you and your son at risk. It's disheartening to see the kind of man he has turned out to be. I urge you to prioritize finding a safe and secure living arrangement for you and your son. I have genuine concerns that his mistreatment may escalate if you continue to stand up for your rights, especially with your recent act of giving your son a door. I genuinely worry that staying in a home with a potentially violent person is not a safe option. Nobody should have to endure such a situation. It's evident that your husband made the unilateral decision to deny your son a door without considering your input. By now, you've shown him what it feels like to have one, and he clearly dislikes it. The question I have is why you've stayed in this situation for so long, enduring a man who treats your son in this manner. The notion that a man automatically holds authority and dominion over his household as the ultimate ruler is unjust and outdated. While you're not the a-hole for getting your son a door, it's essential to recognize that this may be an ongoing battle throughout his teenage years. If the situation doesn't change, it's unlikely he'll return once he turns 18. There are larger issues at play here than just the door, and maltreatment of your son is a severe concern. It's clear that your husband's difficult upbringing doesn't excuse his mistreatment of your son. It's worth noting that you had your son when you were 21, and your husband was 32. making it all the more important to ensure a safe and supportive environment for your child's well-being. The age gap between you and your husband, combined with his consistent attempts to suppress your voice and punish both you and your son for questioning his authority, is deeply concerning. The fact that you feel compelled to resort to secretive actions to advocate for your child's well-being raises alarming red flags. I fear that your husband might harbor an unhealthy, authoritarian mindset about the role of the head of the household. Regardless of his upbringing or religious beliefs, there is no justification for his controlling behavior. It's crucial for you to consider whether the current status quo aligns with what you genuinely want for yourself and your child. Music. In the last story, the question arises: am I the a-hole for canceling a vacation with my fiancé and taking my daughter on a vacation instead? My daughter, Maya, who is 16, struggles with severe anxiety. Despite being in therapy and medication, there are certain areas, particularly school-related matters, where we need to tread lightly due to her condition. My policy has always been that as long as she tries her best and passes, I am content. My fiancé, however, has been pressuring Maya to work harder and achieve better grades, suggesting she aim for straight A's to get into a good college. I've consistently shut down these demands, stating that her current grades are suitable for her plans to attend community college and then transfer to a local state school. Here's the issue. My fiancé made a secret deal with Maya behind my back. He promised her a trip to Disneyland if she managed to achieve straight A's this semester, withholding it if she received a B. Maya, eager to experience Disneyland, kept this pact hidden from me. Over time, I noticed her growing stress, attributing it to the challenges of her junior year. However, last week, she finally broke down, revealing the deal she had made with my fiancé. I was furious upon learning this. Seeing the toll it had taken on her, I canceled the hotel reservation for the ski trip my fiancé, Maya, and I were planning. Instead, I booked a last-minute trip for Maya and me to Disneyland and Universal Studios this week. Maya has been in a fragile state, experiencing panic attacks and stress-induced sickness, so I prioritized her well-being over the initially planned vacation. Maya truly deserves this trip after all her hard work this year. However, my fiancé is expecting me to cover half of the cancellation fees and activities that can be refunded. We got into a heated argument, and we're currently not speaking. Deep down, I know this relationship is over, but I wanted to confirm if I was in the wrong here. I understand what he might have intended to do, but this was clearly not the way. He undid all the progress Maya achieved through therapy and ended up hurting her more than helping her. Besides, what does he expect her to do if she gets into a good school? Stress her even more with a demanding university environment? It's all messed up. I appreciate your support for my decision to stand up for my daughter. I'm looking forward to enjoying this trip with her and having a wonderful mother-daughter experience. Regarding her education, I agree that starting at a community college for 2 years is a smart and more supportive approach, especially considering her struggles with anxiety, which she is still working to control. Your point about my fiancé manipulating my daughter and convincing her to keep secrets from me is alarming. His actions endangered her mental and physical health, all for his misguided belief in what he thinks is the only path to success. His manipulation could have had dangerous consequences, and I now see it as a pattern in his relationship with her, establishing that it's acceptable to do things behind my back if it benefits him. As for the fees, the more I reflect on it, the more I feel it should be his responsibility to pay for them. He manipulated everyone involved, including me, and I shouldn't be responsible for the financial repercussions of his actions.